Cat Noir developed a brand new power in the recent episode of Miraculous Ladybug, the power to erase people's memories. So let's talk about how that happened, and if it's possible he'll use it on himself eventually, maybe even for the same reason he first used it on Alia. That may have negative consequences, however, and maybe we'll even see him turn into Cat Blanc along the way. My name is Deepcut, welcome back to Cartoon Universe, and heads up, we're launching our new Blue Sky account today. Please follow us over there if you have an account. We'll be sharing some Ladybug theories there and talking about the show in general, as well as on our other socials if you prefer one of those. But we are launching on Blue Sky for the first time today, link in the pinned comment and in the description down below. Now, in the recent episode of Miraculous Ladybug, Revelator, Alia learned the secret identity of Monarch when Lila's new akumatized villain pulled out Ladybug's deepest secret. This was upsetting for Alia, who hated having to hide things from Adrien, but also hated that Marinette would hide this from her and try to act like everything was normal in the meantime. And because of that, this episode ended with Alia wanting her memories erased. Ladybug has the power to fix things broken by a villain, but unfortunately a broken friendship doesn't count, as that's really just a change to a relationship or even a building on top of it, if you will. With that in mind, however, it's believed that Cat Noir's power to destroy could actually be used to destroy new memories. This makes sense in the world of the show, as in earlier seasons, it was already established that the powers of the Miraculous are only limited by the wearer. This was something played with at the beginning of the episode, where the other holders of the Miraculous were shown finally achieving their adult powers through training. It perfectly set up the end of the episode to have Cat Noir pushing his own powers even further to do something new. While Cat Noir's destructive powers are generally used more literally and physically, the power of destruction can work in different ways, and as Adrien's own mind evolves, the way he uses that power can evolve too. Since Ladybug already set up the precedent that her magical ladybugs could fix everything when she throws up her lucky charms and says Miraculous Ladybug, Cat Noir realized that he can just invert that logic and channel his destructive cataclysm by saying Miraculous Cat Noir. But the big question is, how will this play out in the future? Nothing in the show is ever introduced or used just once, as it's the nature of the show to recycle everything. It's become the point of the show to introduce an idea and run it through a full loop of dark and light, yin and yang, before returning it to the starting point to do it all again. The show uses well-known one-off tropes from other superhero media, like having Cat Noir and Ladybug switch identities in one episode for some fun commentary. But unlike the rest of superhero media that tends to use these ideas just once, Miraculous Ladybug does this again a few seasons later to show an opposing angle of commentary with the same trope. So right now this idea is being introduced, showing Cat Noir using his ability to erase memories from other characters like Alia, but what if he has to use this again to erase Ladybug's memories or even his own? For Ladybug or Marinette, this actually makes perfect sense. Right now, Alia has erased her own memory so that Marinette can make the choice to tell Alia on her own and even tell Adrien when the time is right. But right now, Alia finds it too much to bear to not tell Adrien. But realistically, Marinette has the exact same feeling. So what if she becomes so overwhelmed by this secret, which is already too hard to bear, and she just asks Cat Noir to remove it for her? In the recent episode, Lila wanted to reveal Ladybug's secret identity, but what she learned was that Ladybug has an even darker secret, one that could tear her group apart. Lila herself already knows the secret, but doesn't realize it's the thing weighing on Ladybug's mind, that this is the thing Ladybug is hiding from everyone else. To lose the memory of this like Alia did would be great for Marinette, and she could just let herself believe the story she put on the news, that Monarch was just some random villain and that Gabriel helped defeat him. Right now, this secret is what's weighing on her relationship with Adrien, the relationship she worked so hard to finally have without Gabriel's influence, but which now only comes because of his death and the reveal that he was the great villain that they were fighting against. To erase this secret would allow Marinette to live in some sort of fantasy world, the kind where she gets to live authentically in her relationship with Adrien, but not authentically with anything else. Ultimately, this would be a bad idea, as she'd be letting go of important information that will obviously be useful later. And as Alia says, the truth is necessary for growth. And with Marinette being the one holding this truth, that means evil is sometimes necessary for growth as well, as it's up to evil to expose that truth in an attempt to hurt others. If Marinette has her memories erased, Lila may realize what Ladybug's secret was, and of course she already has that information herself. She knew Gabriel was Monarch before anyone else did, she just doesn't realize that this is what Ladybug fears becoming public knowledge. The bigger problem here is whether Ladybug erases her memories or not, at some point Cat Noir is going to learn the truth, which means that Adrien himself will know the truth. This will be devastating for Adrien on multiple levels, as he will likely recognize along the way day how much his cataclysm played a role in not just hurting his father, but leading to his demise. This injury was already killing Gabriel, and at some point he was going to have to make the decision to either end his life or end someone else's so that he could continue living. That alone will probably be a lot to deal with, making Adrian feel guilty for his dad's death. But another thing he will eventually realize is that all of this fighting with his own father was just to stop his mother from being brought back to life. In all this turmoil, he might see himself as a person who was trying to be a hero, but who ended up destroying his entire family. Something that will drive him even crazier when he realizes that he is a sentimonster, that the only reason his mother died to begin with was because she wanted so desperately to have a child that she used a broken Miraculous in order to achieve it. This could have two extreme outcomes, and in fact, both of them could actually happen. First, learning the truth about his father could lead to Adrian getting akumatized again, this time turning him into Cat Blanc in a timeline that doesn't get fixed. This is something the show has been preparing us for, with the planting of the seed of Cat Blanc all the way back in season 3. A lot of people were expecting Cat Blanc to make some appearance towards the end of season 5 when things were getting very climactic and a lot of plot points were being wrapped up, but it's becoming increasingly clear that they've been saving the Cat Blanc storyline for something more intense. The show intends to have at least 10 seasons, and it looks like they might actually be planning for even more than that now. But with the first 5 seasons being one complete loop around the sun, 1 year within the show, it makes the first 5 seasons seem like a loop through the light side of the yin-yang wheel. And season 6 seems to be already beginning this descent into the dark side, the side of Yin, the side of Cat Noir and his destructive abilities being explored more and more. And with that, we're going to start seeing an inversion of our characters, who Cat Noir already said earlier this season were the best versions of themselves. From here, the only place to go is becoming the worst versions of themselves, and for Cat Noir, that would be Cat Blanc. Even if Ladybug and the other heroes are able to bring him back from the brink of this, the emotional burden might still be too much for him, however. You can de-evilize a butterfly, but that doesn't always heal the actual emotional issues of the person inside. Hence why Lila, even after being healed from her akumatizations, will still hold a grudge against characters like Ladybug and Marinette. With so much trauma, the only way Adrian might see himself being able to go back to normal is to erase his own memory. And I believe having him use it on Alia successfully first is all just setting us up for the big event later where Cat Noir erases his own memory and things go horribly, horribly wrong. To me, it's already insane that Alia seems to have no negative side effects from having part of her memory erased by Cat Noir. But this was a new memory that Cat Noir was able to erase when he himself was in a rather calm position. But I think using it on himself, especially when in the middle of an emotional breakdown, will have very negative consequences. Adrian will just be trying to get himself to forget one thing, I imagine, but in doing so, he can make himself forget everything. He could forget his relationship with Marinette, and even beyond that he is Cat Noir. Of course, he'll have Plagg there to guide him and teach him the ropes so that he can keep his identity a secret. But imagine an episode or even an entire arc dealing with Adrian having lost his memories and not even remembering that he's dating Marinette, bringing their relationship right back to where it began. This episode, Revelator, brought us to that moment when Marinette and Adrian were being interviewed by Vincent Secret, with the beautiful musical cue In the Rain playing as they talk about how they didn't really like each other when they first met. And this may be foreshadowing this happening again. Marinette and Adrian meeting for the first time, at least as far as Adrian's concerned, when he has his memories erased. There's so many crazy different ways that this could go, but what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget to check out our Cartoon Universe Blue Sky account or one of our other socials if you prefer to follow us there. See you guys next time.